This is the most expensive piece of steak in the world. It can cost you up to $300 for just a single steak. This is Wagyu beef. You see all that white stuff? That is fat embedded into the meat. That fat is what gives Wagyu beef its signature texture and flavor. But what is it about Wagyu that makes it the most expensive type of meat you can buy? Does it have to do with a special kind of cow? Is it the way it's cooked? Where it comes from? Or how it tastes? Chew on that for a bit, and we'll have your answer soon. The incredibly marbled steaks cut from Wagyu beef have a taste and texture that is almost buttery. Butter. They just simply melt in your mouth.
That is so good.
It's no secret that Wagyu beef has an incredible taste that, for many, is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But is that the only reason why people are willing to pay such a ridiculous price for it? And what was the most expensive price ever paid for one of these cattle? Stick around and I'll have the answer for you later in the video. Maybe the price has to do with how the meat is prepared. After all, Wagyu beef is served in some of the finest restaurants in the world by some of the most skilled chefs. It's prepared quite simply, but still, there's a fine art to it. You might want to have it in a Japanese-style sandwich, or maybe just with some salt and pepper. Regardless of how you choose to eat this steak, it's usually served in tiny portions due to its exorbitant price. But my guess is this isn't why Wagyu beef is revered the way it is. To find our answer, let's take a look at where the meat comes from. There's no exact date when the meat became popular, but we do know that Wagyu beef originated approximately 35,000 years ago in Japan. So, recently. It's sourced from 4 main breeds of cow. You have the Japanese black, brown, polled, and shorthorn. The name Wagyu itself refers to the cow the meat comes from. Wa means Japanese, and Gyu means cow. And of the main cow breeds, there are over 300 varieties of Wagyu to choose from. This depends on how these cows are raised, as well as the region they might come from. Some might tell you that these cows are massaged for hours a day and fed liters of beer, like my boyfriend's biggest dream. But that's mostly proven to be a myth. Instead, these cattle are raised by a breeder until they're about 10 months old. Then they get sent to a fattening farmer who bulks them up by feeding them a mix of rice, wheat, and hay. The animals are fed 3 times a day for 2 years, and at that point, these cows are nearly 50% fat. Wagyu beef cattle can technically be raised in any region in the world, even North America. Now, although regular Wagyu beef is quite a luxury, there is a cut above that's known as Kobe. This type of beef only comes from a certain region of Japan, the Hyogo Prefecture, whose capital city is Kobe. And in case you were wondering, yeah, Kobe Bryant was named after this beef because of how incredible the taste is. But the taste of the meat doesn't happen just because of the region. These cows are raised strictly. Although they're not actually massaged or fed beer, this isn't all that far from the truth. They are fed the highest quality food you can give to a cow. They even listen to music while they eat, which is supposed to increase their appetite. These cows were once worker cows and were bred for strength. Because of this, they have more fat cells. After Kobe beef cows are slaughtered, they go through a strict 7-step grading process. This system is so strict that only 3,000 to 4,000 cows each year get certified as official Kobe beef. So maybe it's a mix of how it's cooked, the marbling in the meat, and where it comes from. But the largest factor in Wagyu beef's popularity and price has to do with how the cows are raised. Thanks to their luxurious upbringing, these cows can be sold for $30,000. That's around the price of a new Toyota. But man, I don't know, eating Wagyu beef for an entire year or a new car, that's a pretty tough decision. I mean, people say Wagyu beef is one of the best eating experiences of your life. Oh, and to answer the question, what was the highest price ever paid for one of these cattle? It was 50 million yen, or about $400,000, for a Matsusaka Wagyu cow back in 2002. So, would you pay $300 for this steak? Let us know. What other questions about food do you have? I, for one, am wondering what the deal is with everyone eating crickets. Ugh, I can't deal. We'll have the answer for you on the next Origins of Food.